alive. Any kind of communication from backstage?
We're live.
Okay. So, wholeness. We're out here right in front, or maybe even behind BSU. I'm somewhat new to Boise, but right next to the river here, in between the river and BSU, doing some yoga, connecting, breathing, and grounding. And ultimately our practice involves going deeper into deeper states of samadhi. Complete absorption into the self, into the experience, into being present. It's funny, what I was noting on before asking CPAN here to start this video for me is just a few weeks ago we were doing yoga in multiple days in an apartment complex's gym, kind of like a small area, but more or less a place, a therapeutic space, workout equipment, the treadmills and whatnot. And we were doing yoga in there, and after our yoga we would just I'm trying to use the more appropriate word, but basically just flow and just fall right into a samadhi-like state. And what came out of that was, after a couple weeks, I don't know how long it was, doing that and occasionally being noticed by the next person who came into the space for their therapy, their therapeutic attention toward the self. They said there must have been multiple comments, maybe concerns made to the office stating, what are these people doing sleeping in the gym? And so maybe after a few times, I'm not sure how many times it took, but that message came around to meet us, CPAN and I, through CPAN's mom. And it was said, we can do yoga in there, but we just can't sleep. So the miscommunication or the misinterpretation is actually in the observation of what are we doing. We're just laying out sprawled on the floor. Maybe your eyes are closed, maybe not, and we're breathing. That can appear to look like sleeping, but to one who knows of what yoga truly is and the depths of it, we are literally doing yoga right there. And after we stopped, another comment from the office came in stating, well, you make sure to tell them that you can do yoga in there. You can do yoga in the gym, you just can't sleep. We just don't want you sleeping in there. So we're here. This brings us full circle to the present moment. Here doing yoga, breathing, connecting, moving the body, relaxing the tensions and stresses, releasing attachment to any kind of conflict going on, becoming aware and just letting it go, seeing what it is. Some of the conflict that arose within me was, are we allowed to just lay in samadhi here? In public, next to the park, we're out of the way of the walking path, but we're still near the walking path. CPAN and I have had multiple engagements with people who are interfering with where we're existing and being on this earth.
Yeah.
So this is a conflict that is there, and it's actually a trauma on some level. Yeah, this is a vast thing, actually.
Do you mind if I introduce a question to where you are now?
Sure.
Does it have anything to do with harmonizing with the environment?
Sure. And what is harmonizing with the environment? That is yoga. Union, like coming into union with everything, with yourself.
The true environment.
Merging your entire consciousness. Yeah, the true
a
environment
different,
is the inner environment.
right.
It goes
a reference
hand in
point.
hand. It's like a marionette on strings. It's occurring in this sacred dance. I'm glad I got to say that. So yeah, it's you said harmonizing with the environment, and we've been told so many stories, and there's so much just telephone game going on where the truth has been distorted. Of course, it'd be inevitable for it not to be distorted, going through so many filters, and not only the human filter, but when you look at the average, let's say the average or normal, so-called normal human in today's world, what state is their body in? Like, what type of shape are they in? When's the last time they've cleansed and acknowledged this divine holy temple? Like, this is actually the holy land that is the body. It's holy, the holy land that is talked about in you name it, fill in the blank.
Because how you treat your body is how you treat your world, or like how you emit yourself.
Yeah, that's a good
inner and outer.
I notice, and this thought comes to mind whenever I just kind of throw myself, or I take off my shoes. This is a thing that was really came present in Thailand when I was in Thailand, was how I kick off my shoes, or like no bending down and like articulating the spine to even stretch and just oh my gosh, like when am I ever in this position? I kick off my shoes. When I get on the yoga mat, it's like boom, boom, You finally, it just shows how far you've gone out of balance. Like, let's go, ballistic motion, throw yourself, come to a rest, and then gather and recollect yourself for the next movement, the next creation. Really checking in, what is this ego? What is this word that's been told to me to get me to be so self-reflective about every single thing I do? Because proper judgment is a real thing. It's necessary to live this life in the material world, to judge whether or not we should run full speed, and if we'll have time to slow down and gather ourselves before we fall off a cliff. You're judging. This is proper judgment. Then judgment of good and bad, right and wrong, positive, negative, dark, white, whatever. All these words, they existing in a world of duality. Well, what do they even mean? Are they really conveying and capturing the thought that we're conveying, or is there a possibility of it being misinterpreted? Because we're objectively experiencing these words, but they might be something completely different association to someone else. Actually, like the person right next to you, it's highly possible it can be completely differently received using specific word, and I don't know, it's all these impressions, very key principle to be brought within the self from Ayurveda. Ayurveda really speaks on impressions. I really got that from a teacher of Ayurveda, which is Dr. David Frawley. Incredible books. C-Pen and I have both been reading the first two in a consecutive series, at least. He's written multiple books. I don't know where it falls in his bibliography or whatever that's called. But Ayurveda of the Mind, Healing of the Consciousness, that's the first book. It was incredible, very fundamental encyclopedia for anybody wanting to come into learning about Ayurveda, practicing Ayurveda truly. And you might need some kind of introduction, but I feel like if you're intelligent, you can really pick it up really fast in that book. Second book is Ayurveda and Yoga, which really comes into embodying these principles, these Ayurvedic principles. And Ayurveda is just practical, day-to-day wisdom of everyday life, and just kind of collecting these things of like, oh, the wind's blowing, and then you can just catch this, and then, like electromagnetics and these ever-present principles and laws that are unmovable. It is the supreme being we're working with. So, anything on your mind?
Let's see. Yeah, but we'll do next video for that.